Welcome. You're listening to EMA Talk Radio, produced by Shark Creative and made possible by Pro Digital, Rivet, Terracom, the production department, Steady Brand, and Studio Productions Online. Experienced Marketing Association, growth, success, lasting value. Well, this is episode number 4 to coincide with our EMA newsletter that's about to go out soon. And how fitting is it to bring in our very own faithful and devoted leader, Ron Schott, the operator, owner of Ace Media. Ace Media is a business communication solution provider specializing in audio-related products, of course, including voice-over internet, voice-over IP, overhead music for business, personalized on-hold messages, and also other post-production audio projects for radio, TV, and video. Ron, it's always honestly such a pleasure to see you and to be in your company. You're also our acting EMA chairman. I feel like there should be a better association for you other than just the chairman. You're so much more than just the chairman at our Experience Marketing Association. But, you know, we try to be a global community of like-minded entrepreneurs, salespeople, business directors who share ideas and discuss issues with a rare creative synergy. And together we strive to be each other's trusted advisors, as you have been for so long, for so many friends and support system. So thank you, Ron. It's really fitting that we have you here today, and welcome to the show.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. I'm looking forward to our talk, Andrew.
Yeah, as am I. And, you know, from what I know, and we've developed a nice relationship over the past few years, Ron, and, you know, I know you as a very humble person, and you're certainly not looking for any special spotlight, but you know what, you really deserve it. And we've certainly wanted to have you be our focus today and our focus in this next episode, because you've given so much to so many people. And I can say from the bottom of my heart, you've been very helpful to me through the years. And I'm proud of that. I really am. I'm very proud of our relationship. I'm proud of what you've brought to the table. You're a wonderful leader. And I really just wanted to get right into it and ask you, Ron, how did you get started in the industry? Now, look, you could probably take up a lot more time than I know we were willing to put into this episode, but give us sort of the highlights of how young Ron Schott got into the business and where he is today. Not to suggest that you're too old, but you have been around for a little bit. And so bring us through, give us a colorful picture of what that looks like.
Well, I'll give you the 50,000 foot view. I actually am young in the business compared to a lot of the wisdom and maturity of our EMA members. But my background started, you know, I have seems like another lifetime ago. I was in the corporate world. I worked my way up through retail. Ended up in the corporate office of a jeweler that had about 200 stores. And I found myself responsible for the training and development of, you know, hundreds of salespeople. It was in that job, in that role, that I developed a hobby for audio video production, because we were doing training videos. And when my tenure at that company, I reached the point of becoming the VP of Human Resources and changed companies, which is what took me to from Kansas City back in the late 90s to Austin, Texas. And then I was just ready for a change from the corporate environment. So I loved audio video production. So I swung over, started doing that. A buddy of mine called me after a couple of years and said, "Hey, do you do on-hold messages?" And I had to stop and think about what is that? Messages? And anyway, I said, "Sure, I can do that." We started with a little project. We needed to make it scalable. Long story short, that's what got me into the business and really took Ace Media from sort of a general audio video production business. And in 2003, we began focusing purely on the on-hold messages. And then 3 or 4 years later, we started, after we got our legs under us, we started branching out and offering other experience marketing types of services.
which we touched upon just slightly in that when I first came onto the show here. And I know that you do a wide variety of things, and one of which is to be a support system to your friends in EMA with some services that allow us to do what we do. Because clearly there's been a lot of change, right? Especially over the last 5-10 years.
Oh, yeah.
The technology has changed so much, but you've become a very reliable partner. Again, I could speak for myself and I'm sure for many others. So thank you for that. Ron, what EMA? Look, you're at the front and center. You're at the tip of the sphere for us when it comes to EMA. Tell us why you do that. Like, why have you done what you have been doing for us? And it does take a lot of extra effort to put yourself out there and to bring folks together. What makes you tick, and why do you do it?
Well, I think going back to even my career in retail, I've always felt strongly that there's a certain health that comes from working in cooperation with your competition, if that might sound a little strange. But I think there's benefit because, I personally feel that I try to operate out of an abundance mentality, that there's plenty of opportunity for everybody that is willing to put the effort into it. So for me, the EMA, at first I was a little slow to, I joined in 2012. Initially, I was a little bit slow. I wanted to hang out for a couple of years and kind of see how the group worked together. And I really immediately witnessed just a sense of camaraderie and willingness to answer questions about how to achieve certain things and how to go to business, go to market, and people were really willing to share. And so I really felt like it matched what I already believed. And I developed some really good friendships that enabled me to pick up the phone and call other people that were facing some of the same issues that I was facing. And, it had a lot to do with the fact that we had, a shared business model, the same kind of products. But also there's just a mentality of, hey, I'll help. Even if I not facing that problem right now, I'm willing to spend some time with you and chat through it and figure out, brainstorm solutions. So I just really saw it as something that aligned already with my beliefs. And when the opportunity came up to serve, I was humbled by the request to, step up and serve on the board. And then when the opportunity came to serve as chair, I just felt that was kind of the course that I had seen other people I highly respect. I saw them take that same set of steps. And so I thought, hey, this is a great opportunity to contribute in a way that hopefully is kind of beyond what's right in front of me every day.
Yeah. Well, there's no doubt that you've been a wonderful leader and you've helped many of us. And so how long is the term, by the way? How much longer do we have you at the front and center?
So COVID kind of threw us a curveball. So a few of us have ended up serving a little longer than the normal term. But my term is ending this year.
No, don't say that.
we
don't say that.
We have the annual business meeting coming up and a few things to work through from a bylaws standpoint. But hopefully we'll be able to pass the torch to somebody that continues down the same path of trying to really promote engagement. With COVID, for a long time, the association has a lot of people have benefited from the in-person get-togethers. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily, I would say, it's clear from the feedback. It's not always the keynote addresses or the presentations, which are good, But what people have continually said that they got the most out of was the personal networking one to another, the relationship building. And that's what's irreplaceable. And that's what we've been missing by not being able to get together. So we've tried to take a focus of upping the engagement on a more regular basis. And Zoom, COVID, it was really maybe serendipitous, not, that I guess you can kind of make lemonade out of lemons in a way. I know there's a lot of terrible things that came about because of COVID, but one of the positive things I see is that it's opened up channels of communication that people were more slowly adopting pre-COVID, like Zoom.
Correct.
Communication.
Right. It forced it upon us. But, the fact that, and you said it yourself, and I could speak for myself on this, when I went to the last conference, which was kind of behind us, this picture, that was a game changer for me within the association, because it was my first chance to really meet so many other wonderful people. And I'm so happy to say that I've kept in touch with more than a handful. And, we work in silos, and yet we get to share ideas and pick up from one another. So if anybody who's listening, again, you're listening to EMA Talk Radio. If you're listening and you're wondering, what can I get out of this? I think the proof is in the pudding with the relationships, even if it's, looking at this right here and now, right, between the two of us and all the other folks that come before us. It's so nice to be able to have these relationships that you could pick up the phone or get on a Zoom call now and see someone in your industry who's across the country, sharing and dealing with the same kinds of problems, and also sharing successes too, and learn from that. So if you had you not gone to one of these conferences, you wouldn't have the same kind of relationship that we now do. And so that sort of was, in my mind, the real foundation that was set to make it easier for us to get through this period of time where we couldn't be together, but at least those relationships are there. And so I really, when we do get back to it, and hopefully, when's it going to be? Maybe sometime next spring.
We're looking at
some questions still, but if that does happen, I would certainly encourage anybody listening who hasn't been to do it. Just get there, because you will find that it does help by just meeting more people. And you're right. I mean, yes, I think there's a lot of great things that come out of the stuff we do in the rooms for the work, but it's the drink at the bar, and it's the everything else that goes on that really you take home with you.
Yeah, the hang time, the opportunity.
The hang time is fantastic. Ron, is there anything, because there's probably a lot of members that will end up watching this, what could you share about yourself that they might not already know, that you're willing to share on this forum? Is there anything out there that we should know about Ron that we don't necessarily know just yet? Just figured I'd get a little deeper, a little personal with you, maybe.
Well, I'm a serial entrepreneur, but most people know that already. Early in my career, I was a professional clown, and
no kidding.
I think only a couple of people know that.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for dropping that. Now I'm picturing you with the clown outfit. Oh, it actually works. It works pretty well.
So,
that's awesome.
I didn't do any kind of circus stuff, but I was paid professionally I picked it up as a hobby, and then, I love to entertain.
I think I know what we need to do for the next conference. We might have to bring you in and do some magic.
There's not enough money. There's not enough money to get me to suit back up.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for sharing that. Let's switch over real quick to, I know that there was some press that we received in one way, shape, or form through your efforts on the road with Steve Hartman. Tell our audience a little bit about that experience and what the purpose was, what you did there, and how they can find that information.
Yes, I think it's on CBS. It was aired on CBS Nightly, and they reached out to EMA. And I tried to be a good representative of EMA, and I wanted them to make sure that they communicated that I was representing as chair of the EMA. That stuff like that doesn't always work out, because you don't have the spin control that the media does. But it really just proves that we had made some inroads as an association, so that when somebody like a CBS, or we've subsequently had inquiries and interviews from the Boston Globe, Wall Street Journal, Vox.com, and then not to mention several of our members have been reached out to and asked for interviews. And I think it just goes to show that the work of those that came before us has paid off with setting our an association up as experts in the industry. So it was easier for them to find us. It was fun doing the interview.
That's good.
The COVID certainly put a spotlight on our business, as many can attest, up to their messaging efforts, people needing to, keep current. So I think it all just sort of the timing just worked. And so when they went, people were spending more time on hold when they went to look for somebody to talk about it. EMA rose to the top of the list.
Yeah, great. Well, I'm happy to hear that. No matter how it ended up coming out, I'm glad that was the case, and we were there, and we were who they thought of. So, Ron, it's again, it is really great being with you and just chatting it up a little bit. Let's leave with the thought. Let's leave with the thought of what we can expect from EMA going forward while you're still chairman. What could we put out there for our members to know about as we head into 2022? What are some additional benefits, or what are some of the benefits you want them to know about that they can look forward to?
Well, I think we will certainly maintain focus on not just on hold, but continuing our efforts to grow, to represent the whole of experience marketing, digital signage, licensed music for business, scent, and a handful of other things that are kind of out there in the mix with customer experience services. So we will stay on that path. And in addition, we've started the focus of trying to deliver one quality engagement every month. It's a challenge still, but I would encourage everybody to not only participate, but to step up and help accomplish those engagements every month. I think when we add back the in-person conference, which we're targeting for April, for spring of next year in Dallas, when we add that back into the mix, it's just going to even amplify the
no doubt.
Monthly engagements. And really, it's going to solidify some friendships that have been, been nurtured through Zoom. And I think it's just going to help with adding another dimension to the not just meeting in person, but having the regular engagements and then getting together and hanging out.
I think amplify is an appropriate word. I think it would do that and further energize those relationships and just to be there to be helpful for one another. So all well said. Well, Ron, again, thank you so much for coming on with us today. EMA Talk Radio. And this is our episode number 4. So stay tuned for more as we go forward. You have been listening to EMA Talk Radio, produced by Shark Creative. We've been talking with Ron Schott, the owner-operator of Ace Media, also our faithful and devoted leader, EMA chairman, and clown as well. We found that out today, but I'll use that word sparingly because he's certainly no clown to me. Anyhow, we'll be back soon. Want to thank our sponsors, Pro Digital, Rivet, Terracom, the production department, Steady Brand, and Studio Productions Online. You're listening to EMA Talk Radio.